Fish and Chums!
Everybody, old Gare out here at the Fishing Shack, and welcome to this week's Fish and Chums Fishing Report. Here we are, the middle of May already. My goodness. And I want to tell you, folks, there's some really good fishing taking place. Now, I know there's a lot of debris, and there's the lakes are high, some of them are dirty, but overall, we have some really good reports we want to pass on to you. Crappie had good reports out of Stockton the last few days, at times below the dam at Truman, and we've had a few good reports from Pomme de Terre. We've got that to talk about. And if you want to go bass fishing this weekend, wow, the bass fishing's red hot at Table Rock and Bull Shoals. We have a lot to talk about. Ooh, I want you guys to get out this weekend. And we want to thank you very much for joining us here on Fish and Chums. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. Tell your friends and neighbors and relatives about us because, boy, we're getting a lot of new subscribers and thousands of viewers each week. So pass it on and subscribe. Okay. All right. Let's start off with the photo of the week. Boy, I had so many great photos that I had a hard time deciding which one to use. But we're going to go out, and Dalen Boyd was out the other day at Beaver Lake. And guess what? Picked up some real nice crappie. And one of the reasons I picked this photo is look at that beautiful puppy in the background. Oh, I love fishing dogs, don't you? Good going, Dalen. And they've been picking up some crappie, like I mentioned, on beaver. They've been picking up some white bass. The bass fishing's been pretty good. And we've had some reports of some stripers moving out in mid-lake. They're picking up some stripers at Beaver as well. And this morning out of Contributory Arm, when I called my reporter, it was 72 degrees on the surface. That may fluctuate. All right, let's go to Table Rock. I've been out at Table Rock the last 3 days, and it's on fire. The bass fishing's excellent out there. And I want to share this with you. I went out yesterday morning, and it was a beautiful morning, just a little foggy. I went out to a point that has some debris and a little bit of grass, and then it drops off real fast. I picked up my spook, threw that spook out there, pop, 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 bam, a big roll. Missed that doggone fish. I missed that bass. That looked like a good one. So I picked up another rod that had a square-billed crankbait on it, and I pitched that out, cranked it the fourth time, boom! Look what old Gare did. Look at this beautiful bass. Ah, look at that gal. Beautiful, beautiful fish. And I had a ball bringing that in. I just give her a nice little smooch and put her back in the water for you to catch. Good fishing out at Table Rock. Okay, also, I tell you what, Holly Mitchell was out the other day. Holly Mitchell, her husband said, "What do you want to do on Mother's Day?" And she said, "I want to go fishing." And they went up in the Kimberlin City area and then started fishing back towards the James River. And they picked up a couple fish on the umbrella rig and I believe a crankbait and started trolling the old, that's it, flicker shad. And they caught a couple, look at this nice fish, couple couple nice walleye. So the walleye are starting to move a little bit at Table Rock. It's going to get stronger next week and the next couple of weeks. I'll be here talking about it. All right, getting back to the bass fishing. Now, I fished there 3 days at Table Rock this week, caught fish on a variety of baits. Wow. Like I said, I caught that big fish on a square-billed crankbait and missed a topwater bait. I've caught a couple of fish on spooks. Not real great topwater bite, but decent, just medium decent. And the square-billed crankbait, some wind come up against a little point, and I picked up 2 good fish on a spinner bait. And after it died down a little bit on the shore, I pulled off of a point and found out, a point was just loaded with shad. And I went out there with a drop shot, caught about a half a dozen fish, and then when it got slow, you bet, my old Ned rig, and caught several fish on the Ned rig. So a variety of baits is working at Table Rock right now, and I'm telling you, folks, the bass fishing is really good at the rock right now. So get out there, might try a flicker shad, try some walleye fishing, try bass fishing. A few crappie are starting to show up. Some of the creek arms, the contributaries are starting to clear up. I've had some prayer reports on crappie and also around some of the docks. So Table Rock looks good for the upcoming weekend. Just just take your tackle box and reach in there and grab something. I think they'll probably hit it. Okay, another photo from Table Rock. My old friend Kelly Black. God bless you, Kelly. She was fishing down at the dock, I think on Sunday evening, and picked up this real nice bass right off the dock. Kelly's a wonderful musician. I've known her for many years. An old Kansas girl, and she caught this nice bass, and you might recognize her name. She's been with a great musician, great bass player. Boy, she could smoke that bass. And she's with the Jim Stafford show right now. So catch her and tell her, hey, good catch. Good going, Kelly Black. God bless you. All right, now let's go. Got a little story on Taneycomo right now. They're releasing a lot of water. Some water's been going over that dam, and they've been the turbines have been running, so it's quite a bit of current going down through Taneycomo. But I want to tell you what, the other day, Mike Coach was out, and he was down by the dam, below the dam at Table Rock on Taneycomo, and picked up this nice smallmouth. That's right, some smallmouth and fish came up through the gates recently, and I've heard of white bass being caught, bass, the smallmouth bass, and so good going, Mike. But as far as the main lake is going right now at Taneycomo, been a little slow, but they are picking up fish, and the current's pretty fast. White jigs is as good as anything. Try a 1/8 ounce white jig, slow rolling it. If it's slower on the edge of the current, might go to a 1/16 ounce. And I've had some reports of some fish being caught on night crawlers, and they've been picking up some fish on smaller jigs, like a 32nd ounce brown with chartreuse. So check out Taneycomo for the upcoming weekend. All right, let's go out to Bull Shoals. My gosh, Bull Shoals is like Table Rock. The bass fishing has really been good. Look at Sis Green. She was fishing a couple of days ago up in the Theodosia, off the Theodosia Marina area, and picked up this nice bass. Good going, Sis. I understand you're a heck of a fishing gal. And so the bass fishing's been really good at Bull Shoals, and on a variety of baits too. It's kind of just about like Table Rock. A lot of fish, a lot of bass are being caught right now. I heard of a whopper plopper picking up a few fish this week on topwater, and also they've been picking up some fish on little popper type baits, some poppers, and they have been picking up some fish on square-billed crankbaits, spinner baits, slow-rolling grubs, of course a Ned rig, drop shots. Looks good for the upcoming weekend at Bull Shoals. And they've been picking up some walleye off some of the points and flats at Bull Shoals, and they've been using the old flicker shad. I love the flicker shad, and they've been using some nightcrawler harnesses too. So you might pick a walleye up this weekend at Bull Shoals. All right, let's go out to Stockton Lake. It was 66 degrees out there on the surface today. And I tell you what, my old buddy Jeff Deckard was out again. He's always out. He's always catching fish. And look at these crappie that he caught the other day, just a couple days ago. And I'm telling you, speaking of the flicker shad, Jeff and some of the guys out there have been trolling flicker shads, picking up some real nice crappie. And so check this out at Stockton. I've had reports of some fish being caught off the bluffs, and I've had reports up in the mouth of the creek arms halfway back. And I tell you what, flicker shads, they've been trolling out there pretty good and catching crappie at Stockton. By the way, they've been picking up some walleye using the flicker shad as well down on the points and secondary points. And also night crawlers are coming on stronger for walleye at Stockton. Looks good. All right, let's go out at, Mike was out at Pomme de Terre the other day. Look at this nice bunch of crappie that he got into. So I've had pretty good reports on Pomme de Terre. Water temperature out there this morning was 66 degrees, and they've been picking up crappie, and some of the guys have been going to the lower end and off of some of the brush piles, picking up crappie and back in some of the cleaner coves. So crappie looks good at Pomme de Terre. I hope so for the upcoming weekend. High water, but you can get around that. All right, let's go to Truman. My old buddy Jordan Lear was out over the past weekend. He was fishing a catfish tournament at Truman, and he and his buddy, Brandon, I think it was. Let's see, better get it straight. Yeah, Brandon, and yeah, they got second place in that tournament. Look at this nice fish that they caught. In fact, today when I was doing my show, I was talking to Jordan, and he was fishing down below the dam at Truman. I hope you catch some fish out there. It's been spotty, but a lot of water's coming over the gates, of course, but they have been picking up some nice cats. I've had some reports of some nice walleye, and of course the crappie, and hybrids and white bass. You just never know what you're going to catch. But some days a little slower, but boy, there's days they've really been catching some nice fish. So good going, Jordan. And nice second place out at that catfish. I think it's up in the Osceola area, that tournament. All right, let's go to Lake of the Ozarks. Calvin Myers was out yesterday on the glaze arm and picked up a really nice mess of crappie. And he was trolling crankbaits. You know, I don't think it was a flicker shad, but assortment of crankbaits, and caught his limit of crappie. And there's been some really nice crappie fishing out at Lake of the Ozarks. It's been real good, so you may want to try this. They've been trolling crankbaits, flicker shads, just regular crankbaits, and they've been picking up some fish on a float and minnow combination. And so get out Lake of the Ozarks. Bass fishing's been good there as well, so it looks good at the Lake of the Ozarks. Wrapping it up out at Norfolk, we've had good reports of crappie being caught the last couple of weeks. This week, earlier in the week, they really caught some nice quality fish. Maybe not numbers at time, but the fish they've been catching are really nice size. Floating minnows, jigging minnows. Looks good for the upcoming weekend. They're still picking up a few big stripers out there spooning as well. Well, we want to thank you very much for being with us today. That's a lot of good photos coming your way. Don't go anywhere. And be sure to like and share. And, of course, as we already mentioned, subscribe. We love to have you join our Fishing Chums family. And we've had some real nice emails. God bless you. Thanks for sending those emails. If you have a photo or fishing information, go to our email address at fishingchums@gmail.com. Well, thanks for being with us today. A lot of good fishing taking place, folks. This is it. This is the time of the year you can really get bit, and I've got a sore thumb. Bass fishing has really been good at Table Rock. Okay, roll those photos, Brandon. Happy outdoors, everyone. God bless you.